If you have an early Bronco at home and it doesn't have power steering, you know it ain't no fun to drive.
Armstrong steering.
Especially when you put it on a bigger tire. Today, Frank ain't on a big tire. Frank is getting an upgrade, an Explorer front dress with the Wild Horses Saginaw pump and all the goodies. If you've never done this before, check this video out.
We're going to upgrade the power steering, and we're going to upgrade the alternator, and we're going to put a serpentine belt on it. Most of you guys know that as the Explorer front dress. We're changing it up a little bit. Our friends at Wild Horses have this amazing bracket right here. That is part number 7129. This makes your life so simple. We all know that the Explorer pump isn't that great. Frank doesn't have a body lift, so that Explorer bracket for the power steering and that pump rides too high, it hits the hood. We're going full serpentine, full power steering, alternator upgrade, all through our friends at Wild Horses. Let's get to work.
Start this off, we went ahead and started working. Right here is a brand new power steering gearbox. You have to change this. Part number 2025, Wild Horses. We did this yesterday. You guys have probably done this at home. If you haven't, it's 3 bolts. It's not really hard. Remove those 3 bolts off your power steering gearbox, put a new one on.
So when you're doing the Explorer front dress, there's a couple things that you're going to lose. You're going to lose your mechanical fuel pump right here. How we rectify that? We're putting on pump on the rail in line. So we'll still have to wire that up. This is the old manual steering box that we removed and replaced it with the Wild Horses power steering box.
All right, to catch you up on what else has been done, Kevin went to our local junkyard. From 96 to 2001, Ford Explorers came with a 5.0, 302. Kevin took this bracket right here. He's already installed it on Frank. He went and got himself a brand new alternator. The timing cover is from a, we'll call it late model Ford Explorer 5-liter. This is a new water pump. We know it's dirty. It's only been used for one wheeling trip and we changed out another rig. So the water pump's on there.
So we utilized the entire alternator bracket assembly off of the Explorer. We have the tensioner, we have the lower pulley. We took the water pump pulley. Wild Horses sells this dampener right here for your 28-ounce crank. It is part number 2502. You use the 90-degree thermostat housing off of the Explorer.
All right, let's throw this baby on.
All right.
We got 3 holes on the head. Kevin's going to get him hand started, then we'll tighten him up. Guys, this is real simple. Obviously, you have to put the bracket on the pump. You may have to take the pulley off to bolt in the bracket. We clearly did that off camera.
Okay, I got them started by hand. I'll hold this here while you wrench them down.
Anytime you're going into a head, you don't really need to use pneumatic tools. Try to use hand tools so you don't pull those threads. Yes, it's more work. This is an old farm truck, probably not the cleanest.
Now while he's doing this and tightening that up, one thing I'm going to look at, once he gets this bolt tight, I'm going to look at our pulleys. Make sure they're aligned. Before we go too far, we may have to run spacers in the back of this. Hopefully we just get it right on the first time. Once you have that on, you are going to utilize this pulley off of the Explorer power steering bracket. It is the uppermost pulley. You have to get these 3 bolts in first, and then you can put this pulley in right here. So your next step is to figure out the length of your belt. What we've done is we took a string, we routed it the way the serpentine belt gets routed. Try not to get too stretchy of a string because you might get your measurements wrong. Get it as close as you can, knowing that you don't have any tension on your tensioner yet. So we're going to measure this string and we're going to see what size belt we need. So we were overlapping by about 1/4 inch there, Brad. So this shows right at 90 inches.
Before we put the serpentine belt on, we're going to plumb our brand new Wild Horses power steering gearbox. It's just 2 hoses. You have a feed line, a pressure line, and a return line, which is non-pressure. The top one, closest to the cab, is the return line. The back one's the pressure line. It's really, really that easy. You're going to have a hose that goes from here to the return side of the back side of the power steering pump, and then you'll have another hose that'll go from the pressure side to the back side of the power steering pump. We're going to knock that out right now. As you just saw, I routed the power steering hoses. Those are done. The pressure side goes closest to the radiator. The return side goes on the other side. Power steering box, check.
just routed the serpentine belt. We went with an idler pulley that has the guides on the side just to make sure that the belt doesn't go left to right. Only because this is such a long run from the power steering pump to the alternator, we wanted to make sure that we use one of these. I don't know what part it was. We had it laying around Broken Bronco garage. I checked the bearings. They were good. They fit. Look at that. It's beautiful. So for the belt that we used, your application is going to be different. You know, we chased 4 or 5 different belts to make sure that we got the right one for this. Our belt is K060895, and that is a 90 1/8 inch serpentine belt. That's a long belt. Don't be afraid to buy 4 or 5 of them and take the other ones you don't use back. Last step is the cooling fan, the radiator, and shroud. You'll notice down here I have a radiator hose. This is off an 02 F250 7.3 diesel, and I had to trim just a little bit to go to the bottom part of the radiator. That way I can use the stock radiator. So we're going to go ahead and install this.
While Kevin's installing that, let me tell you something, guys. If you're running an electric fan, throw it away. Sorry, I'm going to tell you that it took me forever to have that opinion, and Kevin taught me that. I fought overheating issues in the old man forever. I switched to this Explorer setup on my 302 with this same mechanical fan, and I have never overheated that engine, and it gets used and it gets abused in the summer all the time. I highly recommend this part. Put a fan shroud on it with it, but use this fan.
It screws right onto the water pump. Once you get it started, then you can just walk it in and tighten it up.
Do not do it while it's running. I've seen people try that. You look like this.
Now you need to take your shroud, bring it in, and push it inside like this. That'll allow you all the room in the world to drop your radiator down. Then you'll bring your shroud to your radiator. You're pretty much done. Connect your hoses. I'm using the stock radiator. I talked about the lower hose being out of a 7.3 diesel, and we had to trim it a little bit. We're going to use the stock upper radiator hose. You cut it in the middle, splice it, and then you change the aspect of your stock radiator hose, and it'll sit just like this. Obviously I'm sitting it high right now, but for example, that's how it'll sit.
Where'd you get that piece?
I got this at a local parts store. It's just a metal connector, 1.5 inch external diameter. Put it in there, splice it, clamp it. I don't have the clamps real tight right now because I still need to make sure that this fits up to the radiator, but you'll see that picture in a few minutes. So this is not fully connected. Obviously I got some trimming to do a little bit, maybe with the shroud, but this is what you're looking at with the upper radiator hose. You're asking, why do you have to cut it and splice it? If you remember back, we had to use the Explorer 90-degree thermostat housing right down there. You do that because if you use the regular thermostat housing, you get into the serpentine belt. This clears the serpentine, clears your distributor, clears this pulley, comes right over here, tucks right nicely to your radiator. This is ultimately what it's going to look like. This is the cooling system and steering system, 4G alternator. What I did right here is I took the original wiring harness. If you have an aftermarket wiring harness, their instructions are very clear nowadays how to wire into an Explorer alternator. On the original wiring harness, I took the green and red wire. I disconnected the voltage regulator because this has an internal voltage regulator. I wired this pigtail here on mine only has 2. It has a green with a red stripe, it has a yellow, and it has a white if you have the third one. That white one is unused. You can trim it and cap it. I have one with 2. The yellow comes back right to this post. The green comes down and connects to your original wiring harness, green and red wire, right down here. This wire goes into a mega fuse and comes back to the positive terminal of your battery.
You're probably watching this because you want to do the Explorer front dress setup. Do it. It works great. Contact our friends at Wild Horses. They have everything. If you have any questions, you could always get a hold of me or Kevin via YouTube. We answer every question you guys ask. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
Please like.
Please follow.
Please subscribe.